Oops. I lost my little Zoom. There we are.
As we're streaming live on YouTube.
Yep. Hi, everybody. Okay, I'm going to start the webinar, okay?
Yep.
Oh, I lost my Zoom thing again.
And you can teach me how you get it to do it so that you have time to talk in the beginning.
Oh, you just do enable practice session.
Oh.
And then there's a little button that says start webinar. Attendees cannot join until you start. So I'm going to start now.
Very cool. Okay.
Okay. So we are live. Hey, everybody. So I'm just going to wait until I see a bunch of you guys here, and then we'll start officially.
Did you have a Merry Christmas? I didn't even ask.
It's already done.
Was it
like
good?
Christmas? That was like 5 years ago.
Yes.
What?
In our new measurement of time. You're exactly right.
Oh, somebody's texting me. Oh, okay. We're good. All right. So while we're waiting for everybody to join, I'm just going to be quiet and be. So welcome, you guys, as you're joining. It's so good. I was saying to Gabrielle, hey, we have hundreds of people who are totally into not knowing what we're going to do. Like, how super cool is that, right?
It's training grounds. Really what's going on. We all learn to love flying by the seat of our pants.
That's right.
So all the good stuff.
So good to be with you guys. Thank you so much for creating this circle. You know, I when I was getting the email together of this invitation, what came out was like a calling forth of souls. And I was like, ooh, yes, that's what this is. We could say beings, right? Because we're greater than just our soul, you know, but it's a good, pointer, right? So I'm just going to wait until the numbers kind of level off of you guys joining, and then we'll start. And welcome you guys on YouTube that are joining us live. So good to be with you. The other thing I just want to say too, logistically, so we have our Q&A open, and what you can do with that is not so much to, it's more for sharing. So if you want to share your experiences, if you want to, just share as we're talking and everything that's coming through, if you want to add to that, if you just want to share, how you feel about what we're saying and all that. So I'm actually just going to open that so I can see and move it over. Hi, you guys. Hi, Pippa.
Hey, Pippa from Glastonbury.
Isn't it cool that we can all be in like this one spot?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
No matter what time it is, because for her,
I know, it's always now.
2 in the morning. That's right.
All right. Just going to wait a couple more minutes. So I'm going to have a talk with Spirit now. I want to share the story of how this all came to be, but they're getting my attention of, okay, of what it is that we want to begin with, or just kind of the overview. So I'm going to simplify why we're all here. And then I'll, officially introduce us and all that. So 2021 is the opening, we could say, or the beginning on a really physical level of heaven on earth and of fifth dimensional consciousness, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. It kind of just keeps going. And it's this end point. Oh, let me record. That would have been bad. Cool. So we're recording. So I'm just going to say now some official stuff. So this is our New Year's Blitz 2020, December 29th. And Gabrielle and I are here because we were called to be here. And then we put out the call and you guys were called to be here. And so before I get into why we're here, Spirit was just telling me the overview of what we're doing. So, and as I was talking, I realized I didn't record. So we're just starting the recording now. So 2021 is a beginning very physically, because we've been doing all this energy work for years, right? And then we've had this earth that is still very clunky and dense and 3D consciousness, right? And as all of us have been on the path for years now, or even those who are, quote, just starting, we've all been like shifting the vibration of earth, and the earth's been awakening and shifting her vibration as well, right? So we've all been like partnering and we've been shifting it and higher and higher and higher and higher. And then we have all these energetic shifts and Lions gates, and like we have all these words for all these changes that we go through, right? But foundationally, we just keep awakening and awakening and awakening and awakening and awakening. So we've been like lifting the earth's consciousness. And yet it's felt so dense here still, right? 2021 is the beginning, and how we'll feel this, I don't know yet. Because once we'll be in it, we'll just be in it, just like we're here now. And 6 months ago, what this now looked like would be different energetically, right? So when we're actually in what I'm going to talk about, we'll just be in it and we'll be, figuring it out, right? But 2021 is the beginning of the density here moving into that higher vibration, heaven on earth, fifth dimensional, which to me, fifth dimensional consciousness is all heart. It's like, it's just heart consciousness. We're not, there's more access to the joy that's always here. And we don't mean emotional joy. It's like your foundational joy, which is not pendulum swinging depending on the situation, right? That's our emotional joy, right? We feel great and we feel, bleh, right? It's this true joy within, and this true, Gabrielle did this MP3, the Blitz, and she used the word completeness. I listened to it last night and I'm like, yes, completeness. Because that's such a huge word. That's what we're all looking for, right? It's to feel this wholeness and this completeness within. And 2021 is the beginning on the earth level, on a certain degree, where that density actually, that's been here, even though we've been doing all this energy work, the density actually starts shifting into more heart consciousness here, into heaven on earth. And what does heaven on earth mean, right? Because we have a lot of story of heaven or what that could mean. And when we think about heaven or heavenly, that has a certain feeling to it, right? A certain vibration. And it's that of love, right? It's heart, it's love. We're not in our identities. We're not all bogged down, right, with our stuff, simply put. So heaven on earth actually means we embody that. It's not something that like comes down, I mean, it's both. The high vibration comes to the earth, but we also anchor it here and become that. Like we are that already, right? So heaven on earth isn't something that just comes from the outside and just drops down from the sky, right? It's us, it's in us. And so this higher vibration, higher consciousness, heart consciousness, will actually start to fill the plants and the trees and the homes and like it's going to start getting really, really, really physical here. So that should be interesting. And again, we don't really know what that will mean until we're in it, right? We could cyclically look into the future and get a certain read, but that doesn't really help us, right? To me, it's how do you be present here now, here now, here now, here now, because that present moment is creating the tomorrow, right? It's literally like unfolding presently, presently, presently. So for me, future stuff, future knowing, future readings doesn't help me here, doesn't help me now. And the future it's very pliable, of how our choices now create the future. Are there certain things, are there certain pathways that are already there and the opportunity, like we could say there's all of these possibilities and there's certain ones that we can look at because that's how it looks like we're going, right? So it's not that we want details of 2021. We want this, like this overview that Spirit's telling me right now. It's heaven on earth. It's bringing that consciousness of heart and love. And again, the mind has an idea of what that is. The mind will go, oh, I'll just be in my heart all the time and I won't have my ego anymore. Or I'll just be, love all the time. And as we know through this path of awakening, it doesn't freaking work like that, right? Maybe 1% of people who wake up are like, boom, Eckhart Tolle, Byron Katie, these people that have had these instantaneous awakenings, they still had to embody it, right? But then there's the rest of us that it's this process of embodying and embodying and embodying and embodying and coming into who we are and sloughing off the layers and healing and releasing and right. And I'm not saying those beings don't do that either, but they just had a different path, right? So we're walking that path all day, every day, and each foot in front of the other. So this higher vibration that's coming in 2021, this doorway just kind of goes boop. It opens literally in like 2 or 3 days. Because to me, I saw like the first, the second, the third, and the fourth is in the fifth is really going to kick off this like, this opening. And so once we're actually in that and feeling that and being like, we are every new year, we're like, huh? Because there's all kinds of new vibrations coming in, right? Mm-hmm. And so once we're actually in it, we can feel more presently in us and around us what heaven on earth would actually start feeling like. Because right now we're just talking about it, right? We're not experiencing it yet at that level. So tonight, what Spirit brought us together for is for all of us to walk into there together, walk through that doorway together, even though it's linearly not happening yet, right? But it's all now, we could say, right? So we can tap into these things. We're in this powerful energy together, right? They want us to go through that door together and work with the energies that will meet us there. Okay. So once I just share some stuff and Gabrielle will share some stuff just about her and who she is and whatever she wants to say. And I'll share about me and who I am, whatever I want to say. Just for a couple minutes. I'm not going to do this like long diatribe of whatever,
That's because you and I don't care.
No, I don't care. Then, for people who don't know us, right, we'll just do this quick introduction. Then we'll start. And Gabrielle and I will be working in tandem with you guys. And once that starts, I'll connect us in all as a group and we'll all be in that collaborative field together. And that's when we'll start, this walk, this shift. And so all of us are like, Spirit simplifying it. They're like your door openers. So we're going to open the door. and why they wanted to do it, which is interesting, because I felt like we had to do this before the new year. Why didn't this come 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago? Or it's like, because we're so close now to this door physically, It's just timing. It's timing. So I just want to say a little bit about me, and then I want to share how this session came to be. And just from a time perspective, so we're just going to be together until this thing is done, whatever that means. So, we've created an hour and 15 minutes. We'll use all the time for sure. But I just want to let you guys know, if you've got plans later, or if you've just got something to do, you won't miss anything. Once I connect us all, we'll all be in this. And so you'll be receiving everything that we'll be doing. So you won't miss anything if you need to end the call earlier for you, if you need to get off the call. Okay. So a little bit about me. So I've been doing my work professionally for about 26 years now. And I'm going to just do this really quick fast forward thing. So it started with private readings and seeing the history of the soul, and how what's not completed or awoken or healed will repeat and repeat and repeat every single lifetime. And so ever since I was little, the soul would point out where people's stuff is that's not complete and how we can heal it super fast. And I would do readings, personal readings, private readings, to help people quick release. And I was doing that for, 18 years or something. And during that time, what I call my group power healing started happening around 2012, I think, because people started waking up. And waking up is very different than doing healing, right? Waking up means the truth of who you really are comes out. And this veil that's been on top of the truth, let's say, this veil of I, me, identity, just me, I control everything. I control everything. It's all about me. It's the sense of being this person and myself. And that's it. When that veil goes, the truth of who we are comes out. And to me, it's like this light that's been here the whole time, but the veil moves, the veil of the ego moves to a degree. This light comes out and starts spreading and taking over everything, right? We're all in that process, right? It's purifying everything. So all of our soul history is up for reconciliation and completion and all this, right? So when my clients started waking up, it changed my practice, because it was no longer just about the soul and the soul's history and their mechanisms and what makes them who they are and all this. It started to become, well, that's there, but who are you really? And how do you live this light? How do you be this and heal at the same time, right? So Spirit created these group power healings to work with more people at once, to use this collaborative, sacred sanctity energy within each person. It's like it like ignites it. And that truth of who you are collaborates in this group power energy, which is what we'll be doing tonight once once we all connect in that way. The truth of who you are is like your super consciousness. It knows exactly where you are in your path and what you need to complete and heal and re-choose again, very, very, very instantly and multidimensionally. So that's the truth of you knows you, right? So when we do these group power sessions, it meets everybody where you are in your path of awakening to help clear the ego identities and reconcile the soul history fast, quick. And Spirit created this because they saw all these people are awakening and everybody's like, what the, right? And all this stuff is sitting there to purify. And so the groups are specifically here to work with people on the path of knowing who they are, on the path of self, to help clear the stuff super fast, and then leap you forward, which is what we'll do tonight, through thresholds of consciousness that would have taken weeks, months, years, lifetimes. We can just do it like that because we work with this, like this sanctity of yourself. And it's that truth of you that knows where you are and grants us this permission to move you really quickly. So my work now is this group power work that we do, which we'll be doing tonight. Now, how this session came to be is I was in the shower, just minding my own business. And all of a sudden, Gabrielle's being came in like, whoosh. And my very first thought was like, no, I must have boundary issues up or something, right? Like, because when somebody comes in your space, for me, my very first thought is, oh, do I have some sort of boundary issue going on? Like, why is somebody in my space, right? So that was my very first thought. But it also didn't feel yucky and it didn't feel emotional, like when something comes in your space, right? It felt very like her being was just like, boom, super powerful and clear. And I kept trying to make it go away. I'm like, I'll just stay in my shower. And I was trying to like just discern what was going on and figure it out. And I'm like, are we supposed to do something together? And then Spirit was like, yes. And I'm like, no, I must be just like, no. And then I tried to make it go away and just like be in my space. But my chest and my breathing got really heavy. And that tells me like I am not listening. Like I'm trying to make something happen that's not right. So immediately I was like, okay, what is going on? Why is her being here? And that's when Spirit said, we're supposed to collaborate and do work together with all of you guys. And they gave me no other information, not like, and this is what we're going to do. It's like, you just need to come together, invite you guys. And when the session starts, we'll get all the information. And I'm like, okay. And then I toweled myself off, called Gabrielle, and I'm like, got a minute? And then she was like, yes. And so this whole thing got created out of just, thin air.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I want to say before we start everything. What you got?
Oh, I love that story. I'm so glad that I'm already teleporting and I have no idea that I did that. It's fantastic. I need to pay more attention. I do love Spirit because it is following that impetus that comes. Mm-hmm. And we doubt ourselves and we think to ourselves, that's just crazy. And when Ambujam called me, actually, I was preparing to leave for Colorado for 2 weeks with my family. Right. So I was like, okay, because I know, and Ambujam has responded to calls as well, where I've reached out and said, hey, I need you. And it's because together we weave beautiful light, all of us, every one of you out there, including. It's absolutely imperative in where we are in this juncture of opening this doorway that she's speaking about and united moving into this new age, the golden age, of course. And I am just really excited about it because I feel like finally. Okay, it's not so pleasant all the time, but finally what we came here to do is on our horizon, and we are all being activated, called up, and it is imperative that we all show up like you all have. And I commend each and every one of you for hearing and feeling and knowing the call and just doing it, because that is how we're going to be functioning from here forward. I know just from how these things are, it is about us being fluid. And something came through. I was telling Ambujam the other day, I finally got the Blitz meaning. So it was really interesting because she said it's New Year something, and I had said it's Blitz. But neither one of us had time, nor did we get into it, because we did just accept that we're just showing up. We're all showing up here to co-create what it is that we're needing to do and to receive in order to move forward with what is the next step. So one of the things that came was, and it's a giggle for me, because I know it's a giggle for them, just knowing that I like the mind. And that was, we're no longer changing, we're in flux. And so the flux, it's so fascinating because we don't ever use this word, right? But it's really about flow, and things are going to be shifting, but we are no longer perceiving it as change. We're just going to be fluctuating with it as it fluctuates, not holding on to things, not needing the explanation, just being willing to flow and to go with the fluctuations as they occur, whether it's in the middle of the night or no. So that's the really exciting part. The second piece, the Blitz, as I was receiving this information, I did my best to write it out, because when I get a download, it makes so great sense, right?
I
And then
know
we
it's
try
like
to
all
repeat it.
perfect. Then you're like, okay, how do I write
That's
this?
right. English words. So that's kind of the idea, right? Is how do we explain what is really important, and why the word blitz was really interesting. So I looked it up. Swift. Oh, can you hear me?
Yep,
I just got a little notice thingy. All right,
you're good.
but keep going. So blitz means swift, vigorous attack and barrage. It also means a rapid or overwhelming outpouring of many things at once.
Interesting.
Interesting, I know, because the way that I understood it is this. No sides are playing by rules anymore. They never really did, but now it's definitely no rules. And we have always sort of ascribed the idea that there are rules, and we're kind of, integrity and all of these other things, we kind of like this idea that, we have universal laws and we follow them and we are part of them, we live them and all this. Well, in a blitz, like in football, what happens is that the other team just rushes the team that has the ball, right? They just throw everything at them. There's no time limit. There's no rules. You just go for it. And so this blitz meaning has many meanings. One is that the other side has been blitzing us the whole time. And we have been following the rules and doing things as we understand them, and gaining knowledge and reacting from that sort of perspective. And now we are being given the keys to the kingdom, which is we are blitzing through love and light. So then it brought in the whole Christ consciousness piece. And that Christed means love. So it's actually love consciousness, Christ consciousness, that we are bringing in and blitzing the barrage that comes through our hearts. And we're talking our high hearts out into our entire planet, our universe. We are bringing in this love, Christ consciousness in through our beings. We are Christing ourselves, becoming the beings of love, and sending that out through that barrage, that blitz energy into everything. No rules for the light. We've always in the past said, well, if I don't want to override anybody's free will, blah, blah, blah. We have all these things we worry about. No more. Everything is, we are just to bring it in and blitz it out through our heart all around the planet as Christed beings, beings of love, beings of light. This is how we command it. We are just it, right? That's it. That's the command. We command that it come in and be blitzed out to touch everything, and know that the consciousness knows. So let's think of it like this: tapping somebody on the shoulder and saying, hey, would you really like some love, a hug? That's what we're doing. We're sending it out to allow the light consciousness, that consciousness of love, to help that being transform in whatever way they're needing. This is the fastest way to shift all of humanity to that frequency of love that is needed in order for us to move through and create this golden age here as co-creators, because it will not be limited by our minds and what we know. As Ambujam said, this is the age of the heart. We must open our heart and mind connection, have that connection in alignment, working with Christ consciousness, the cosmic heart, our universal energy. We're weaving light together. This is our, I just hear the word mantra. This is our mantra now. This is where we are. It is no longer getting caught up in our day to day. What I know and have experienced myself is that by not worrying on the smaller things in life that are important, what happens is if I stay in this energy of bringing in this light and love energy, everything else does take care of itself. Opportunities come, people come into my life that are needed, and things are taken care of because I'm not in the energetic of worry. I'm in the energetic of I am a commander of light, bringing light in and blitzing it out. And the consciousness of light knows exactly what you need. And when we put our energy and focus on that and the truth and the trust of it, that is when we're going to be able to shift all of us. It's not a one-man job. It's an everyman job, but each one of us have to show up, right?
Can I just add one thing for
Yeah.
yet? So the one thing I just want to add to what you're saying is it's when you talk about living in this way, it's not a mental exercise. Right? It's because there's still what's rightful in your heart. You know, like if I go to force something to happen with my mind, I'm going to do this now. And it's like vacant, right? Like my mind is trying to run the show. It's almost like when you go to a play and you have this whole staging, but there's nothing behind it, right? So to really act in this way of being in full power or being in your power is to do it from, to find that spot of when you're not mentally forcing or emotionally begging, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like this, the truth of you, like this fullness, like you can just feel what's rightful. And that's, to me, when I hear you talking, that's where you have to do it from. It can't be from a mind, I command this. It's like, well, whatever, that's not going to do anything. So it's this deeper drop, right? Yep. So I just want to add that. And as you're talking, like the doorway is already starting to open for so I think what we're going to do, and I don't want to cut you off. I want you to keep doing and saying what you need to say. But I think what we're going to do is when you're done, we're going to go through the door first. And that's where we're going to do all our work, not outside the door, but in the new place.
So we just did our preface, the preface of what we're doing. It's very exciting. It's so exciting because this higher understanding of it has just come in since, we talked a few hours ago, which is what I love about being connected, is that we don't have to worry. We can just show up.
Figured out.
Right. And we're given the information as needed. And it's just really a confirmation always to me that when you follow your knowing and you are connected through your heart, then you are no longer governed by what's happened in the past. You're no longer reacting from things that you knew, because again, that would be back in the mind. It's where the heart has taken over. So for me, I'm Gabrielle Spencer. Never have I even mentioned it. And my work has been with the heart. Actually, I began working with clients in 2008. I awakened in 1999. And back then we had Reiki. I always think of it because I became a Reiki master in 1999, because that was our
that's
introduction.
what we get.
Right, it's what was available, right? And so that's how I began my journey. So my core calling has always been healing the multidimensional layers of the heart based on the soul and what it is that is needed for each person in order to open and expand their heart, because everything, this is the age of the heart. We can call it the golden age of the heart, because that's where we are. And so what we've been doing all these years is helping people to heal. And we were more focused on our everyday experience because that's how we were moving along. That's what was available at the time. And now we are shifting, as you can hear and feel, we are shifting into a greater expansion of our hearts and the entire being of ourselves expanding. And so when I work with people and in large groups like this, it is about, as Ambujam said, shifting us into cohesive alignment with your own soul and with the divine plan, because that's what we are all here as our service, as our mission, as part of who we are. Each of us have our own gifts and our specialties. I always think of us like puzzle pieces. We come together and form a mosaic and a beautiful, picture. A harmonic gets created. So many things are happening on so many levels, and each one of us contribute, let's call it your own signature, to this weaving of light, which surrounds the planet. And now I'm getting goosebumps. So we're taking this harmonic and surrounding the entire planet, bathing everything in golden, high vibrational love and light. And this is why we're here. So that is a little bit about me and what I'm up to. And I know that Ambujam and we're just doing what is necessary as we are being told to do it. And that's kind of where I am right now. It's freeing, actually.
I never have to figure anything out again.
I know. It's
All
kind of
right.
like, this is freedom, just being connected and receiving the information and doing your part. And
Yeah,
that's,
really.
I know, right? And so that's what everybody, as you move down this path, you realize, you know what, it actually gets easier because our focus is not on the everyday, but that everyday stuff is still being taken care of. It's still, our needs are being met, and we're still doing our living stuff, but we are in higher service. It's a higher calling of service for each one of us. And that is when your own heart sings and you add to that frequency that will shift the all. And that's where we are. All right. You can.
All right. So now, thank you very much. Now I'm going to connect us all and we're going to go through the door. It's been happening as Gabrielle's been talking because she's used these certain words that kind of opened it. And so, yep. So I'm going to connect us all now, even though we're already connected, but I'm going to do it like officially, create our group connection, our group field, the container that holds us all in this healing, awakening, embodiment space of the truth of who you are. Yep. And those of you who did not call in live but will watch this, you're part of it as well. Just to be clear, just being really clear, because there's so many of us here right now. So, so we're going to just start now, even though the group connection is still being created. We're just going to all start making our way forward. Okay. So what you guys need to do is just be within yourself. If you're driving, don't close your eyes, obviously, right? But if you can close your eyes, just go within, stay with your own experience, stay with your beingness, just be. And the truth of you is what's going to bring you through this door. So it's like you're in this relaxed alertness with this like quiet permission that you give just your own energy to move forward. Okay. So this isn't a doing from your human. It's like your being is doing it for you, with you. So Spirit's just doing one of their one last permissions. They're asking you, they're like, are you sure you want to go through the door into 2021 higher vibrational energies? And just feel in your own heart, because this is your conscious choosing. They're asking you to consciously choose. Do you want to? Yep. So we're starting to make our way through now. And just feel, whatever that is for you, whatever's going on physically or energetically, emotionally, whatever is totally fine. And then when we're in enough, Spirit's going to shut the door behind us. So we don't, there is no more doorway. We're just in. Okay. So you don't leave this place. All you're going to do after this session is just keep going and go deeper, right? You don't go back, just to be clear. There's no going back. You might still get triggered, 5 minutes from now. You might feel whatever emotionally tomorrow, but it doesn't mean you've gone back. It just means you're in this new space and those things are still here. Okay. So I need all of your permission now, because we're going to just really shove everybody. Yep. So Spirit's going to start shutting the door behind us. Okay. Yep. So we're still making our way through the threshold or portal or doorway into these higher frequencies. I'm just watching you guys kind of look around, being like, okay, what's this place now? Right? Just feeling it out. So your higher, I don't know what to call them, your higher expressions, higher levels of purpose that are just next for you, they're all here too. Okay. And they're going to drop in as we get more and more into 2021. They're just going to keep dropping in. But these higher next levels of your ways of being, purposes, they're just here with us. And they're leading you forward. They're kind of like, come on, keep going. Don't look back. Just look forward. Yep. So we all are just keep moving forward now together as a group. Nobody's left behind, no matter what the mind can think or say. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So each one of you, how I'm watching this, are being met by your guides, your teams, spiritual advisors, beings, some of your either friends or family members that have passed, that have died, whether it was this year or, a long time ago, or even whenever it was, they're greeting you as well. Because this is about heaven on earth too. So you've got a lot of beings just greeting you and welcoming you and reaching out their hand for you to just keep stepping forward. Okay. So what I'm doing now is I'm at this big looking computer thing. Okay. And from a very mechanical way, we're creating this next level of earth, this next level of consciousness. And it's many levels, right? But I'll just call it the next level, okay, of 2021. And I'm my being is just busy. Basically, let's say it's this massive information station, okay, that's sending out all kinds of information. And it's basically letting the universe know, hey, everybody just went through now, and all these people here, and this is what they're up to now, and they're on their next levels of purpose and expression and self and all of that, and we don't need these things anymore, and they don't need these things anymore. So it's this big completions and releases and announcing what you're up to now and where you're going, and just letting everything know that needs to know, this is what we're all doing now. And it just it makes it whatever realms and dimensions and beings are getting that information, it helps everybody go, oh, okay, let's shut all these doors now that they no longer need. And this is very personal for you of what's being shut and completed, but it's also we're representing humanity in a way, very specific layers. And so it's we're saying, hey, we don't need these ways anymore. We don't need to experience these certain things anymore, these certain ways of being or feeling, or so it's very intricate, it's very subtle, it's very layered. And my being is just busy at this massive information center, sending out all these signals. And then And you guys just keep going forward and forward and forward and forward. And when you get to the specific spot that we need to get to, then I feel like I can ask Gabrielle what she feels to do. But right now we're still getting where we're going. Okay. Yep. So karma is an interesting thing. Okay. I want to share this first. So karmically speaking, there's some karmic stuff that these higher beings are, it's like, because we're working with so many high level beings right now, and just in you guys, and like, we're all these high level beings, we could say, right? Some of us are in this human body, right? So because of the vibration that we're in and the choices that you're making in your heart right now, there's this karmic stuff that's just being done. And I don't want to say taken away, but taken away. And we can't ever take something away without your consciousness understanding it or realizing something. It's just not mental. It's not in your mind. It's like consciousness within you is realizing what it needs to about its karmic situations and history. And it's like, yep, okay, got it. This is what we do in this group energy. We're able to accelerate the realizations of you, or the truth of you works so quickly. That's where we work. So these parts of you are accelerating, or just working very quickly, their realizations of why certain things happened and why they kept repeating them and how they don't want to do that anymore. It's kind of like, okay, got it. And so the beings are like taking the karmic energy away, but it's foundationally arising out of because you're ready, Karma, I just need to speak about this. Karma is a certain reality that exists, and it doesn't exist. So it exists from the perspective of you're still identified with that energy in yourself. It's like a reality, okay? Awakening, if you're just present here now, just in the truth of who you are, there is no karma. There's just this big now. That's it. So there's like this spectrum of color. Each gradient of the color is a different reality and consciousness. Wherever we're still identified in is our experience, right? So the more I am less identified with my mind and all of its stories, and I'm more, we could say, identified with the truth of my heart, my reality is going to start changing and matching the truth of my heart. It just will. If I'm identified with my stories and drama, I'll have shit ton of drama. I just will. It's just what it is. It's not judgment. It's just energy. It's just what it is. So karmically speaking, of where your system's consciousness is still identified with karma, that's what's releasing. We could say parts of you presently aren't identified with karma at all. It's just right here. You're just here now, and you're awakened consciousness. So, it's layered, right? Okay, so now we're all going to start landing in a spot, okay? And so we've been like going forward, lots of release going on, because the second you go into a higher vibration, all the lower vibrational stuff starts to move, right? It just does, because it can't stick in the same way, right? So far what we've been doing is going. And now it's starting to like slow down a little bit, and we're starting to like land, okay? Okay, so now as we're in the process of landing, Gabrielle, what you feel needs to be
What I'm seeing
done?
is that each person has I'm going to call it a gift. Think of it like a present. And each person's box is golden glow. So imagine yourself just untying the bow, right? And allowing the energy of this glow to go within your heart. This is I'm going to call it a superpower gift for each one of you based on who you are and your mission and your part of the mosaic that you're contributing. So yes, take a deep breath in and out, and yes, I receive with a willing and open heart. And as each of you receive this is the word I'm hearing, a bastion of light, which is It sounds like a lot. It sounds like another level of light. The Gabrielle side wants to look up bastion.
Right.
What the heck? A bastion of
That
light.
sounds like a lot of light.
Sounds like a lot of light. So this energy is not just gifts, right? It is expanding just what we've been talking about. Your connection, your ability to be in this higher frequency. This work we're doing today is about allowing your self, all of you, not separated out, physical, etheric, energetic, your whole being, to be able to hold, to be this higher frequency in harmony.
Oh, can
Meaning,
I add something?
yeah.
So as the gifts are coming, I also get to ask you guys, what is it you no longer want to hold? Okay. So be in this kind of artful way. You're receiving, but you're also going, you know what? I don't want these things anymore either. So it's like you're receiving, but you're also letting go. And let your heart choose what it wants to let go of. Don't mentally do it because it won't work. Okay, just feel in your heart. I wonder what I feel. Yeah, there you go. I wonder what I feel complete with now. What's just ready, So go ahead.
As you're talking, this higher vibrational light, imagine it or allow it to seep into every cell of your being, to dissolve all fear, all anxiety, separation from self and source, your connection. Allow it to dissolve that so that you can be this harmonic light. It's a song, and this song is like a lullaby, and each one of you has your own signature song. Some of us have come in to this incarnation missing some bars of music. Some of us have jumbled bars of music, and it was not providing a frequency that was in flow, rather was creating hiccups for us. So this is a multidimensional level of understanding of frequency, because you have left behind the frequency of the lower dimensional existence. And now, as part of this higher vibrational, physical, as well as energetic frequency that has just been provided for you, all of that sheet of music, your signature sound, the being of who you are, this higher vibrational light has filled in all the spaces to give you a cohesive sound. And you play this sound. It brings your entire being into alignment. Just take a moment and allow that healing, energetic frequency of you to fully provide what it is you need to be at peace and in a state, a frequency of love, to receive the Christed being of you. And now I see all of this music. It's really beautiful thinking about creating an opera or a symphony, an orchestra playing it. All of this is starting to create a power circle around. It almost looks like an upside down tornado. Just this energy is starting to flow peacefully together, but all of this weaving now of the harmonics of each of us at this higher frequency of light and love.
Yeah, and I'm watching everybody start going in their own. It's like people are like pew 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 pew. Everybody's starting to go in their own, spot, where you start off 2021, right?
All of us in our own spots, all together.
All
That's
together.
the beauty.
Yeah.
The whole entwining of the harmonics is that we are all together. We're all together.
Yeah, what I'm starting to feel happen now, I feel like, and I know that we're not done yet, but I feel like, okay, we just did like 80% or 85 or 90% is what we need to do.
That's right.
And yeah, so because the group container or the field that we've been in, it's just starting to change a little bit, which always tells me, okay, what's next? What's going on? So it's like we're still in this group, but you guys are all finding your own, you're all just going where you need to go now, even though we're still in this group energy, right? So yeah, I'm just waiting for what's next. But we, like, that door that we went through is way the heck back there. Like, we're just in this space now, just here. So
I'm going to say that the harmonics is creating the pattern. Think of it like a foundation for the new earth. That is what we are doing as we are coming together here.
I think the next part is about the feminine. Okay, whether you're a man or a woman, it's consciousness. Like, we all have both or all of it, right? And that's what's interesting, I think, about this time, just how people are like, they're not identifying as masculine and feminine. More people are like, I don't identify with either, or I identify with it all, or, there's all these different experiences now, which is very fascinating, right? And some people do identify more as masculine, more as feminine. Like, for me, I identify more as feminine. I definitely have masculine qualities. But I just identify as a feminine person, as a woman. So this feminine energy is not so much about being a woman, not being a woman, as a human, or even identified with masculine, feminine. It's the feminine. Okay, it's the feminine consciousness, feminine attributes and stuff like that. And this has to do with, Gabrielle, with your Christ consciousness stuff. It's almost like, part of 2021 is basically, there's just pieces to it that we could say Christ consciousness, masculine marries feminine consciousness, or it's like, I don't know, there's just this cohesiveness that starts happening with masculine, feminine. Looks like February, March, April, May, June, it kind of just kicks off this whole other layer. Will we be conscious of this masculine thing and feminine thing going on in us? I don't know. But right now, this feminine energy, I'm just waiting. I'm like, what you want, man? Because it's just kind of there. It's like, and I know it wants to do something with us. And I think it's waiting for you guys to get where you're going to a certain degree. The feminine energies also, this is very interesting. There's an aspect to it that has to do with feeling that you trust. Okay, and trust is a funny little word for us humans, because trust normally means I'm trusting in something outside myself to either happen or not happen. And I'm going to put all my hope and faith in something like that. And then if it doesn't happen, oh my God, I am broken. Okay, that's not trust. That's all kinds of stuff. Fear, expectation, wounding, right? This feminine energy that's talking about trust is a way of being. It's who and what you are. It's kind of like faith. but it's not faith in something. It's you're so one with life itself. And like Gabrielle said in the beginning, we're in this flux, right? We're just riding the wave. Up another change, 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 right? And we're getting more used to, oh, and I don't have to figure any of this out. I'll just be with it, and I'll just ride it out, right?
But that's balanced energy. See, my understanding of the male female.
Oh, hold on, sorry. Will you remember that?
Yeah.
So I feel like what this feminine energy wants to do is activate trust in the heart, because it's already there, but it's like it wants to just like, bonk. Okay, for all of you. And I think actually, well, so I feel like it wants to activate it as you share what you were just going to share. So we're going to do both at once.
In the new energetic, we merge the male female energy. So it's no longer separate. So divine trust is absolutely necessary. It doesn't mean we give up our identity. It doesn't mean we have to identify as anything else. What it is a balanced energy that comes in, and there is no separation. And that does take divine trust, because people fear that they will lose themselves, or who they are, what they like about themselves, or what they don't like about themselves. Whatever it is loving and honoring and accepting yourself, of course, but in balanced energy, it is no longer that the male is bad or the female is good, or we need to be more compassionate and that's a female thing. We're bringing it all together where compassion isn't the way we've understood it. It's not a mental, this is compassionate, that's not, this is how we should speak, that's how we should do, etc. It's being in that balanced energy so that we are providing light. We aren't providing discourse on how things should look or how things should be. The divine is in charge. We are here as stewards. That's what service means. We're here as stewards to implement the divine plan. And as that, those parts of the third dimension, the male female piece, that we're overcoming that third dimensional understanding, because we are no longer there. They have shifted us to this. It's a new life force energy. It's a upgraded life force energy. And when we're in that life force energy, this piece where if what you were feeling was that the feminine was still, let's call it glitchy, and it needed to be brought into alignment, so that this new level of life force energy is no longer about the separation of male female. It's the unity of the energy. Yeah, that's what.
And it's as you're talking, I get this image of like, like those black and white cookies. You have one side it's white and black, right? And there's a line.
Half-moon cookies, yes.
That divides those. Well, if that line goes, it's not as simple as, well, it just becomes gray or light black. Because if you mix white and black, what do you get, right? So it's because it's not a concept.
Right.
We cannot conceptualize unity. We cannot conceptualize merging masculine and feminine. Can't figure it out.
Right. It's not something discourse.
It's something that, like, when you're talking, there's this image of like, what helps us understand what you're saying is by being that, having our own direct experience of, oh, that's what this like, this fluid oceanic, there is no line of, there is no, it's like staccato, right? And then there's lyrical and there's flow, right? Only when we can have our own direct experience of what that type of unity is, then our minds go, oh, it can't do it the other way around. It just can't, because it won't stay. It won't stay. So the more we are in the 2021 energies, the more what Gabrielle is saying starts to become our experience, because the energies will be on the planet. Like I said earlier, it's this demarcation point, 2020 into 2021. It's this demarcation point where there's this density that just won't be here anymore. Again, will it be like this? And we're all flying around with our imagery of what that would look like? No, right? We already know that. No, it's never what we think.
Right.
Adyashanti, who is a teacher of awakening, he said, I've never had a student come up to me and say, hey, Adya, awakening is exactly what I thought it would be. Because we have our ideas, right? We talk about things, and then we have an idea that formulates. It's natural, right? It's subtle, it's quick. And even if, I'm just feeling like this feminine energy and what you're saying about this unity just still like working with us and stuff. Even when we go on a vacation or we think about what we're going to do tomorrow, we have a certain idea of what that will feel like, and it will never be that.
Right.
Like ever. Our idea of our life will never be what our life is. Ever, 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 ever. So that part of us that worries and projects into the future of all this stuff, like it won't be that. We don't know what it's going to be, right? So just watch. I feel like this is being said, so you start to, I'm just going to use the word train yourself, even though it's kind of a shitty word, okay? Start to watch when you start conceptualizing energy, when you start thinking about it, when you start like going, oh, this is what it's going to be like. Catch that as soon as you can. Don't make it right or wrong, but it's just not the truth. It's just not it. And come back to, well, I wonder what it would feel like. Feel. Unity. What is unity? Like these words matter. They have a vibration, right? The other thing the feminine is saying, and I can feel like our like we're going to start wrapping up soon, maybe 10 minutes or something. The other thing that this feminine energy is sharing is as we, and this really happens every year as we shift, it's just deeper levels. As we keep going into 2021, it's like you can't, I don't know how else to say it other than like this. You can't experience this like this fluid way that's already in you, right? Without trusting yourself. Because that is yourself. That is you. These things that we have no labels for, it's you, right? Mm-hmm. Trusting yourself will become more imperative. Not giving, I don't know how else to say this either, not giving your energy or power to doubt will start to become more imperative, because we're supposed to, well, I shouldn't even say this. We're supposed to, what's next for us is going into these next level of being human, right? Fifth dimensional, heart energy, heaven on earth. Yes. We can't live like that if we're constantly like, right. These two things are not going to, like this doubt thing, we won't be able to stay in it. It'll be too painful. It'll hurt too much. It already does feel shitty when we're in doubt, right? But as we keep raising our vibration, or we could say, as we raise, we go deeper, right? It's really this, it's like the same thing. We deepen, we embody who we are, but then our vibration raises and we expand, right? So just two different ways of saying it. Self-doubt just cannot, it just can't. Like you just won't be able to stay there for much longer. Does it mean it just goes away like that? No, it means so far you're really going to have to steer your consciousness. Like, okay, I'm going to trust myself. Words are hard.
When you feel the doubt, because the light's consciousness, when we try to figure things out, even why am I feeling this doubt, or why am I feeling how I'm feeling? We put our mind into it and we have to come up with a reasonable, logical answer, which automatically sets you back I don't know why now they're showing me a Monopoly board, get out of jail free, go to jail, do not pass go. That's what happens when we allow the mind to be out of alignment with our heart. Then we get all caught up in our third dimensional self. This higher life force energies, how they've explained it to me, is that we're getting this light boost, which changes our life force energy. So when we go back into the humanness of our existence and we have that disconnect, then it is harder for us to stay in that higher life force energy, which is what we need to be in order to be, let's say, a fifth dimensional human. We have to have a higher life force that has to go with all this energy work we've been doing and all this healing. So when in doubt or fear, turn to the light through your heart connection every time. Don't overanalyze it. Allow the light to dissipate it for you, to dissolve it, to heal it, whatever it is. You, though, have to be willing to let it go. That's the hardest part as humans. We have to be willing. It can't be sorta. I sort of don't want to feel this way anymore but then I need to stay, somebody told me recently, I need to keep remembering that this happened, so I make sure I don't do it again. And I was like, yeah, but not in higher vibrational living, right? It won't happen again, but by you reminding yourself, you're making sure it will happen again, period, because we know that that's how that works. So that's what I mean by the mind kind of running away with you. It's like when the mind starts doing that, you need to call in the light.
Yeah, and it's like we're like, we keep evolving and going. It's like, I'll just use the word evolve, because the awakened self doesn't evolve. It's just awake. It's truth. Okay. We evolve though.
Right.
As souls, we could say the soul evolves. So this doubt conflict that I don't know who doesn't have that.
Right.
Okay. Just at what level, whatever. This doubt, like I want to be in this higher vibration and have this experience. And yet this doubt energy, right? It's like starting pretty much right away in 2021, we're going to start evolving out of the ability to be able to stay in doubt, because it just won't fit. We just can't do it. Mm-hmm. And again, it doesn't mean that it won't be a struggle or, it's kind of cocoon butterfly thing. We've got to move out, right? So have just patience and kindness for yourself as the energy, as life itself is like, hey, this whole doubt thing, you got to move on. And then this person is like, yeah, but because it gets worse before it releases, right? It's just kind of what it is at most of the time. Sometimes it just, boom, it's done, right? But right before something releases, the ego freaks the F out and is like, no.
Right, I need that.
Yeah, its whole doubt gives the ego a reason to live. And it just wants to live like we want to live, right? So it's very interesting. This whole like transition we'll be making out of doubt, January, February, March, April, May, June seems to be this big chunk of time of where that's really going to be on deck, amongst many, 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 many other things. So yeah, it's find your sweet spot of how you work with doubt. Like for me, sometimes like everything's like a tool. Like if I just cut my finger, a Band-Aid works just fine. If I break my finger, I'm going to have to get it reset. Band-Aid not going to work for me personally. Okay. So it depends on the day. It depends on where I'm at within. It depends on how triggered I am and how identified I am. I'll say in doubt, right? There's days I can just pull myself out of it and just watch it kind of do its thing like a cloud. Then there's days I'm so identified with it, I can't get out, right? And then in that moment, what I do is I ask myself, where in me needs to stay here? Where in me is this sticking to? And then I go, oh, and then it just gives me more space. It just depends. So I just want to share that, find your sweet spot in the moment, because you'll be different in every moment. And, Spirit's saying doubt isn't bad and it's not a problem. It's been part of our experience. It's just consciousness. It's just energy. We just identified with it, basically, Okay. So I feel like now we're going to slowly start completing. So Gabrielle, do you want to say anything else around what you were saying?
No. I feel strongly that the new earth is being created as we envision it through this high heart, higher vibrational life force energy. And as we breathe this in with every breath, knowing that this has been bestowed upon us, we will gain greater perspective and understanding about what is next, what needs to be done, the flow of things when things have hit, a spot that needs to be ebbed out, fixed, or released, what needs to be done, and just go with it. This is a great opening for the new earth to be not just birthed, but to be brought into fruition. And it is going to stay, it is going to be imperative that we stay in alignment with the Christed heart, the light, the love of that frequency, in order to do it for ourselves and for all.
That was beautiful.
And there it is, right? This is where we say, yes, we did it. Congratulations, everybody. Isn't this exciting? Kind of amazing, Ambujam, since all we did was show up.
Yeah, so what we're doing now is you guys are all just walking away, going into your own spots. And then when everything is done in the way it needs to be, we're going to end the group connection. So I just want to say, how do you feel now? Just check in. What do you notice? What's your inner landscape like? How's your frequency feel? How's the mind feel? Just take stock. Yeah, Spirit's just like, you all did everything that you needed to do. And there's so much that we didn't even talk about that happened today, too. So.
To be continued.
All right, so we're going to start completing. Should we just look at what people have shared?
Oh, I've been reading. It's beautiful.
I've been too busy. I couldn't do it.
I know. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, people are sharing and speaking with
it's full moon,
bringing things in.
Cool.
That they understand the unity of the energy and of the heart, and just, it's amazing. I hope everybody's had the opportunity to read the comments from people who have shared. And if you all want to share, now's a good time to go ahead and pop in there what's come through for you. Did you gain some ahas or some greater awareness? And how do you feel? I'm hoping you feel empowered to move into this new golden age of the heart with all of us, because it's kind of exciting. I'm excited just because, like I said, 20 years, here we are finally.
I know, geez.
I know. And it's kind of nice to know too that we're not perceiving it as change anymore. That the perception is just that we're in fluctuation.
Yeah.
We're just
I just want to answer, somebody's asking, will there be a recording? So shared with us, yes. So Zoom, this is all done through Zoom. Normally when I do a group, I post the recording and stuff like that. And we have our own group call info page, you know, so this is all done through Zoom. So what's going to happen is Zoom is going to email you tomorrow the link to the replay on my site. And it'll be, I don't know how this is going to work. I just have to see how all that works. This is my first time using Zoom like this, and having them do all the recording and all that. So it'll either be posted on my site. Well, definitely be posted on my site, but it might just go straight to YouTube. So we'll just see. But yes, tomorrow you will all receive an email with a link to the replay, okay, to the recording. I'm just reading some more.
I know. Exactly. Thank you, everybody. Gosh, you're such beautiful, beautiful beings of light. So blessed to be here with you.
You guys, I just want to say, I have no words for my gratitude for you. I just have no words. It's so immense. You are so immense, and that your dedication to yourself is so deeply felt, and you showing up in the way that you do is just, is it just, it's like it breaks my heart open. There's so, I just have so much admiration for you and so much gratitude that you even make this all happen, right? Because it could have just been me and Gabrielle on by ourselves being like, well, wah, wah. I guess we'll do what we're supposed to do. So, I mean, I say this a lot in my groups, that you guys make this happen. It is you. And yes, it's me too, right? But it's the collaborative that is this amazing, incredible, magical, allows this quick shifts to happen. And I just thank you so much from like the depths of my being for sharing your energy, for collaborating, for allowing, I'll just speak for myself, allowing me into your special space. I do not take that lightly. It's such an honor to work with you like this. So thank you so much for being here with us and creating this with us. And we're all in flux together, right? Being in the flow. So I just want to say thank you so much.
That's it. And I love all of what you're sharing, everyone, in the comments. I just, like we said, so grateful for all of you, because it is the combined energy of every one of us that delivers what you're experiencing, and your willingness to be open and to receive. Because even regardless of what was said during this time together, when we open up our hearts to that divine higher expression of love and light, you receive exactly what it is you need to receive. Each and every time you listen to the recording, same thing. You still will expand. And that is the beauty of light consciousness. So I thank you. I thank you. It's always so hard to say goodbye, isn't it, Ambujam?
I know. So we're almost ready to end the group connection. Just got like when I see things like, we'll just simply say like at 100% is when we're done. We're like 97 now.
Awesome. All right, everybody.
Waiting. That last, it's like energy work to me is so freaking precise. Like you cannot end something before it's ready. You know, it's just like, don't do that, you know? And so Oh, now I get 2% left. You know, it's so precise for me. It's so specific, so precise. And, you know, trusting that, like my process when I first started doing my work was trusting this thing that was happening to me. And like, it has a pace. You know, when I would do private work, like there was a pace that was happening and I had to learn how to, oh, now we're going here and now we're going there and now we're done. You know, it's just such a specific. So this group tonight, like as it's ending, it's like, it's just slowly completing. And I trust that process 100% because I know it knows. I don't know when we're done, you know?
I do. I used to say, you can't leave a can of worms open. We must complete it. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Because there are people processing, and there have been people that have written in that they can feel that they're still processing some things in their hearts. And someone else talked about their sacral chakra. So we're just allowing
Yeah.
this energy of light to help you to complete those pieces that need to be shifted or made more whole or to be released.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what's interesting when we make these energetic shifts in consciousness, the body, the density of the body has to align, right? So yeah, all this stuff can start coming out, or like the sacral, I read that too, the sacral, because it's so major awakening in this body, right? And just the intricacies of things that are like in one bone, you know, it's just wild. So drink plenty of water. I always say, sometimes spirit is very clear about this, but I always like to say room temperature or warmer. Do not drink ice cold stuff. It really affects, it makes the organ system from a Chinese medicine perspective have to work really hard. And so after an energy work session, stay away from like iced cold foods. It just really mucks up the system and it makes everything have to work that much harder. When you're doing room temp or warmer, it just like everything just flows way easier. And just give yourself patience, you know, for I want to say the unforeseeable future, because we did this shift tonight, right? And then we still have to physically go through 2021 and everything, right? So, okay, now we got 1% left.
So Carol writes in that this is not Pollyannish golden heart energy. The world as it is needs us to be manifestations of heaven's light. And that is succinctly exactly right. We are not just bandying around golden light. It is being that here in every level of our existence, being in alignment with that higher life force energy that is coming through the Christed heart, and that we are projecting, we are blitzing that out of our hearts into our everyday life and around the planet to touch each and every one, to fulfill them, heal them, to make them whole, to assist them to raise their own vibration so they too can receive this higher life force energy and move into this 5D existence of heaven on earth. It's an amazing job. I keep wanting to say it's a big job, but more importantly, it is what we're doing regardless. Nobody starts,
no matter what we call it,
nobody starts kindergarten going, oh my God, I got to go all the way through college, right? Nobody starts there. We are where we are because of where we are. And this is exciting to finally get that green light that, hey guys, we're finally moving to that higher. I didn't even know higher life force energy was a thing. And so that was really amazing. It reminded me, you know what it reminded me of? Like, you know, when they show movies where people go out into space, right? And they have to create an ionosphere or a biosphere and live in it. It's like, that's what we're creating. This higher life force energy reminds me of creating a whole new biosphere from which we operate and that we need to have as part of us so that we can live and function in this new earth we're creating, because it is not being created at the vibration that we are all currently experiencing in this lower vibrational earth.
Yeah, two things I want to say to that, and then I feel like we're gonna complete. It's gonna happen.
We did a lot of work. I can understand why it's taking a little bit of time.
Yeah, it's true. First thing, well, actually, I wanted to say the second thing first, which I guess will be the first thing. First thing I want to say is what Gabrielle was just saying reminded me of this image of us looking out in the world that somebody else is creating. It's their reality. It's not mine. So be very careful what you witness outside. Is it yours? Like, is this the life you want to live? You're creating your life from the inside out. What we see on the outside of us is a conglomerate of energy and people creating reality. So be very studious in making sure, because the outside world hasn't shifted yet in your situations, or because the outside world is doing what it's doing, that you just stay really clear of, well, what is it I want to create and what is it I want to experience? And I'm going to just stay focused on that and keep building it and building it inside. And at some point, the situations will shift to meet that. It has to, because all the situations around us, just personally in our own life, came from within us somewhere, somehow, at some point. So, Spirit used to say to me, hey, look around your room. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, everything you see in front of you, you've already created from your past consciousness. And I was like, I have no argument. Like, I can't be like, no, I didn't. Or I didn't do that right there. And they're like, yeah, you just weren't conscious of that right there that you created, but it came from within you. It came from your consciousness, right? So just keep practicing the world outside of you. Is that the world you want? Does that match you? Does that resonate with you? Or what is it you really, really want? What is the feeling of it? And let that feeling of the life that you want, that's where you pay attention. That's where you steep. Okay. The other thing I need to say before we do our final completion is Spirit wants you to take a minute right now and feel that you are a door opener. You are a way shower. And it doesn't matter what the mind says that you're doing or not doing. Well, I'm just sitting in my house all day. How is that a way shower, right? The mind has all kinds of ideas of, no, I'm not. I'm not doing what so-and-so is doing. You are a way shower. Whether it's physically or energetically, doesn't matter. It's part of what you are. So Spirit wants to say that out loud, and they want you to feel the truth of that for yourself. Does that resonate or does that not resonate? Then the mind will come in, right? What is true? Are you a way shower or are you not? Right? The second thing they want to say is to just take a minute and feel what you did tonight. Not the details, but what you facilitated, what you opened the door to other souls, the importance, the significance of you, and to own that. It's like, yeah, I do matter. I do. All right, so we're going to close up shop now. So Spirit's just watching all of you for a second because you're all in your own spots now. And then once we release the group energy, you'll feel more that, okay, here I am. Like I'm in my own spot, because we're still in the field. But they're just looking at all of you, seeing if they need to do any final little tweaks or support. And they will, continue to support you after tonight. It's just what they do. So they're doing their final scan, so to speak, of you guys and anything you may need. Yeah. And they're reminding you again, but in a different way, don't let your mind be the driver. Don't let the mind tell you who you are. Don't let anyone tell you who you are, including your own mind. Don't do that. And I know it's a huge practice to go, whatever, right? But they're reminding you, don't let anything tell you who you are. No, here, right? All right, so what's happening now is we're starting to complete our collaboration. It's kind of like this metaphor of we all came together to cook this meal. And now we were just doing the dishes. We're all talking, doing the dishes. And now some of you have been drying the dishes as we're talking. And now the dishes have been put away. So it's like the scene is closing, Yeah, Spirit's saying, be your greatest admirer. Discover something new every day about your magnificence inside of you. It's all there for discovery and uncovery. Okay, so at the end of every session, Spirit always does a completion ceremony, and they're going to do that right now. So Spirit is going to complete whatever else needs to be completed, release whatever else needs to be released, and support whatever else needs support from here forward. Yeah, and that container that held us now is leaving. We're starting to break up now, the group. Gabrielle, you want to say anything as we're ending here?
So be it. So it is. So mote it be. It is done. Wow, I love you all. So
Yeah, Spirit's pulling me out of your space now.
Filled with love. Thank you.
You guys, dang. What time is it? Not too bad, actually.
We did good.
Considering.
We did good. All right, everybody, have a happy new year, and we will see you soon. I know Ambujam is doing a December 31st.
Aren't you? Yeah.
Doing
I will
a
share that.
Something? Yeah, quickly.
Yeah, so thank you. So December 31st, which I'm like, when is that? 6 weeks from now. Thursday, New Year's Eve at 2 p.m. Eastern. Spirit, I'm calling it, is doing a big fat healing. It's about an hour and 10 minutes, and it's all by donation. So you pay whatever you want, whatever your heart wants to give. And I've sent that email out Monday, and I'll send it out again on Thursday. And then with all of you guys who have signed up for this webinar, you've checked whether you want to be on my list or Gabrielle's list. So I'll have that information as well. I'll get you on my list, and I'll also send Gabrielle that info too, so she can put you on her list. Yeah, so Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Zoom audio, and I'll send you that email. Big fat healing.
There you are, everybody. You can get that. And I did record while I was here on my fabulous vacation. If you didn't get it, the New Year's Blitz activation for 2021, which is, well, it was the foundation of where we went with this. So you can get it for free at GabrielleSpencer.com/Blitz. So yes, this is free. What we did today, somebody wrote in, this was free. It's amazing. You know what? It's for us. It means a lot to Ambujam and I, our community, the people who support us and love us and are always there with us. This is for you and for us too, because I love working with this lady. I think it's fabulous every time we get together. It always makes me so happy, and that's why I do this work, right? I do it because it makes my heart sing. It really does, and that's what makes me happy. So I'm glad that all of you could be here and enjoy it too. I just can't tell you how much it means to me to have spent this time with you. So thank you.
Thank you, my loves. And feel free to email us your experiences, what this was like for you. You have our emails. I'm just seeing if Spirit has anything else to say. Nope, they're like, go forth. Have patience, be kind to yourself. It's a lot to purify and let go. Our systems will just be doing it. So they're like, just be patient and have kindness for yourself.